The affordability of daycare programs out here is very challenging. I didn't have any options.
My only option was either my mother watched them or just me not pursuing my career.
Her current preschool is definitely a bit of the financial burden.
I was paying, when she was 1 year old, like 1,500 a month.
It's an emergency. Like, it is a literal emergency. We need more state and federal funding, and in this current administration and time, it seems a pretty impossible mountain to climb.
Hey friends, everybody should be sitting down reading a book.
If we don't invest in early childhood as a community, as a state, our workforce suffers, our businesses suffer, and our economy suffer.
Long term, I think a holistic public investment is going to be what it takes to get us to the next level.
You want to go? Do you want the squirrel?
Wait, oh no, Hallie, you get to take one.
My husband Austin and I have 3 kids. Henry is 7, and Hadley is 4.5, and Heidi, she's our youngest, she is 20 months. She's the baby. The main thing I think I've learned with having kids and with childcare is how little options there are for working families.
In 2019, Molly, her husband Austin, and their then 3-month-old son Henry left Missouri for Colorado after Austin landed a big job opportunity. They were really excited, but didn't anticipate how much the change would alter their lives.
In Missouri, by the time I needed daycare, I had multiple options to choose from, and it wasn't a huge financial burden. And then when we moved here, it was just completely different. For like infant care, especially for licensed daycare, when I moved here, there were 2, maybe 3 places.
Stand up. Oh, you're so close.
We had called, and the wait list was just so long. So they went ahead and put me on the wait list for whenever he'd become 2. And same with in-home daycare providers. It was really hard to find. The cost was, insane compared to how much I would be making if I was working. So it just made sense for me to stay home.
What food do you want? Do you want berries?
Molly is a speech-language pathologist with a master's degree. While she had been offered a job in the Roaring Fork Valley, she never pursued it due to childcare challenges.
Cinnamon rolls? You don't have any more.
I felt defeated and really kind of questioned us moving here. It was really hard because we had a great opportunity for my husband and for our family in that aspect. But then I felt like for me, I gave up a career.
Henry, Hallie, do you guys want any apples?
Fast forward 7 years, and Molly is still out of the workforce. Now with 3 kids, being a stay-at-home mom continues to make the most sense for the family financially and logistically.
And a foot.
When I do think about going back to work, it makes me excited, but then really scared at the same time, just because I haven't been working since 2019. I question too, who will hire me if they see that's great, you have a degree, but you haven't been applying it. I guess I'm more than just a mom. Yes, I am a mom, but I also am a speech pathologist and a wife and a friend. And it would be great if all of me was being used.
Molly's situation is far from unique. 61 of Colorado's 64 counties don't have enough spots at licensed child care centers to accommodate the number of children under 6. On top of that, childcare in Colorado has become increasingly unaffordable. The U.S. Department of Health and Human Services recommends families spend no more than 7% of their income on childcare. But in Colorado's 10 most populous counties, families spent an average of 20% of their income on childcare. In Denver, for example, infant care can cost as much as $35,000 a year.
What we see happen over and over is that the child care programs are really they're not able to charge the true cost of care, and folks are already paying more than they can afford. So that's a crunch coming from both directions.
If we don't have the infrastructure in order to take care of the young ones, the babies, the toddlers, then how in the world are people actually going to be able to work? If people can't work, they can't afford to have kids.
Today, 1 in 3 parents have said they've quit, changed, or turned down a job due to childcare issues.
How in the world are we going to actually build a workforce? It's this loop and it's a cycle that if you don't invest in early childhood, forget having a skilled, qualified workforce in the future.
Long term, I think a holistic public investment is going to be what it takes to get us to the next level. And that's not a unique to Colorado problem. This is a challenge across the United States and something that we all need to come together as a collective country and say, this matters, early childhood experiences matter, and we need to invest in it as a society.
The state has invested in the early childcare space. It just hasn't been sufficient to meet all of the needs. In 2023, the state launched Universal Pre-K, but it only guarantees 15 hours a week and only covers the year before kindergarten. Some cities across the state have also offered their own childcare subsidies, but they largely support Colorado's neediest families, even though all income levels feel the pinch. CCAP, or Colorado's Child Care Assistance Program, is one of those programs. It helps families with low incomes continue to stay in the workforce. The program subsidizes licensed child care for kids under 6 and before and after school care for kids in elementary school. About 28,000 children participated in the program in 2025. The program is primarily funded by the federal government, but recent federal regulations have put the program on life support, affecting thousands of families.
There was an audit done of Colorado reimbursement rates, and the federal government said, hey, you're not paying your child care providers enough. So those rates increased to support those providers so they feel like they can pay their bills. So the changes are good. The changes are what's needed. They are more in alignment with the actual cost of care, with what it really costs to support and educate and run a child care center. But the problem is there's no more money in the pool.
Funding for CCAP comes from a mix of federal, state, and county agencies. With reimbursement rates going up, the money doesn't go as far.
So it means that rather than being able to say, okay, we're going to support 50 kids at this lower rate, we're now only going to be able to take that pool of money and support, for example, 20 children. So for kids that are being born into low-income families that would typically rely on CCAP in order to get care, those infants have no other option right now to get care. So it's creating a real strain on low-income communities and the child care providers who serve them.
Because of the rate changes, as of April 2026, 20 of the most populous counties across the state have implemented an enrollment freeze. There are now nearly 14,000 children waiting for a spot in a child care center.
We are already seeing centers that are having to reduce the number of classrooms they have, reduce staff, and families that are not able to access care.
All right, see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget your water bottle.
Michael Gonzalez, a single dad with 4 kids, is one of the parents impacted by the freeze. Up until recently, his kids had childcare and after-school care through CCAP. But then, a tragic event struck the family and drastically changed their circumstances.
In May of 24, my wife passed away during labor. Losing your wife, in labor. Sorry. Yeah, losing my wife last year in labor, it was a tough event. You expect to come home with, we were expecting to be a family of 6.
Oh, what's that one? Do we have that one?
She had a condition called preeclampsia. The way we were spoken to about it was a condition, it was something to be concerned about, but the way it was explained, it wasn't life-threatening. I guess no one's ever prepared for death, but we definitely weren't. Her life was the boys. It's a big event. Having to go through that, make adjustments, your life is forever affected.
She got some idea. Can you play the drums?
The boys, they're doing well though. On Thursdays, actually today, they do therapy 4 to 7, and I feel like it's been a big help.
Make sure you have him good at him so he doesn't slip.
Oh, you're so heavy.
Michael's wife, Christina, handled the kids' enrollment in CCAP. After she died, Michael missed the annual re-enrollment period, leaving the family without the financial help that they were relying on. As a full-time working dad, Michael depended on the program for before and after school care.
Being now a single dad, childcare is important for me to be able to work, provide for them.
To help raise the kids, Michael's brother-in-law moved in with the family. He helps with drop-off and pick-up from daycare, while Michael's mother-in-law helps take care of the baby.
We love that family. They've been through so much. We just want to be a part of their life in any way, shape, or form that we can.
Daddy Mom Early Learning Center, the program Michael's kids attend, is currently offering the family free tuition, which comes out of their own budget.
What's up, Jay? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. How was school? Yeah? Good, good. Let me mark you.
You can't take something from someone who's barely surviving, you know. And Mike is an amazing dad. 4 boys by himself. That's a lot.
Dad, how was your day at work?
It's pretty good, not too bad.
Oh, nice.
When I'm at work, I'm not having to think like, are my kids fine? Are they safe? With the daycare, like, you have that stability.
We want to continue serving him. We don't want him to have to question, or really any parent for that matter, do I work to provide for my family, or do I not work?
They'll always have a home here at Daddy Mom. We will make sure that we'll do anything we need to, but it just brings light that Mike is just one case of families who desperately need resources like CCAP. Love you guys. You want a snack? Bye, bub. Bye. We'll see you later. Okay, go ahead. Take some.
While Daddy Mom Early Learning Center is helping out Michael and his family, they can't offer free childcare for everyone affected by the CCAP freeze. They're already operating on slim margins.
We receive the majority of our funding from government sources. We're roughly 80% government funded.
We're gonna put our water bottles on the table.
As they deal with the aftermath of the Denver CCAP enrollment freeze, Daddy Mom Early Learning Center is concerned about what the future might look like for them and for the families in their care.
What's in jeopardy the most is our school age program.
Go.
Because it is fully CCAP funded. With CCAP funding our school age program, we're able to take kids to school whose parents are already at work when the school day begins. We're able to pick kids up after school.
All right, come on in.
And provide enrichment programs, after school snack, homework help.
We're grateful for the increase in the dollar amount per child that we're reimbursed. Costs are high to feed these children. To provide a level 5 high quality education takes money.
Flowers, called a tiny seed.
And in order to sustain that, funding needs to be sustained as well.
Since Denver County implemented a freeze in enrollment in January 2025, Vandrea and Jeremy have had to turn many families away.
It's a lot of panic, honestly. Families just don't know what to do. It's hard to turn these people away, to look these hardworking, single parents in the face and tell them, like, I'm sorry, but there's nothing we can do.
Follow me. The phone calls I'm getting this year are centers are closing because CCAP enrollment is low, so they are going to close their doors. Are we still open? And if I enroll my child, are we safe there? Are we going to run into the same issue? Because I do need to work. That's what I'm hearing from a lot of our families and in this community right now.
On top of the enrollment freeze, CCAP got another blow recently. In January, President Trump announced he would withhold all CCAP funding in Colorado and 4 other Democratic-run states. A federal judge temporarily paused the order, but confusion and uncertainty over the future of the program remain.
I've heard from some families that are calling me and emailing me almost a few times a week. Have you heard about CCAP? What's going on with CCAP? It's just going crazy right now.
CCAP is one option for families struggling to afford childcare. Another option is informal care called FFN, or Family, Friend, and Neighbor Care.
Hola, bienvenidos a mi casa y aquí tengo mi guardería, se llama Manitas Creativas y pásenle, vamos a conocerla.
Yesenia Castaneda Romero has been caring for kids in her community for more than a decade.
Este era el cuarto de juguetes de mis hijos cuando yo compré la casa. Luego cuando decidí hacer mi guardería, adapté todo, puse ahí para que no se me vayan los niños a la casa y se vayan a accidentar. Puse tapetes, muebles, materiales, todo lo que es adapto para los niños.
And these are providers that are what you would consider the grandmas and the grandpas and the uncles and aunts and the sisters and brothers or the next door neighbor or the best friend that end up taking care of someone's child that is not their own. And most FFN providers become an FFN provider out of necessity because someone close to them needs care.
Cuidaba a los niños de los compañeritos de mis hijos, los más grandes. Estaban en la escuela y sus mamás me pedían que los llevara al departamento. Nunca lo hacía por negocio. Él es Jesús, lo cuido desde las 2 semanas de nacido. Ahorita ya va a cumplir 3 años y lo cuido de lunes a domingo. He tenido varias mamás que me dicen, no tengo esta semana para pagarle, pero en la próxima me pongo y está bien, yo espero. Yo espero para cuando ella tenga para pagarme. El horario que yo manejo es de 8 de la mañana a 4 de la tarde, pero en sí es muy rara la mamá que llega a las 4 de la tarde. Luego por el tráfico o así, y llegan 4, 4:30, 5, 5:30, y es lo mismo que les cobro por todo el día. Por todo el día les cobro $40 a cada uno. ¿Qué van a pintar?
The challenge is there needs to be family, friend, and neighbor care available in your community, and that's just not the case for families. Every family doesn't have somebody necessarily down the street who's able to watch their children while they go to work. That's not how it's gonna work for lots of communities.
De Fundamentos, página 6.
Yesenia is one of hundreds of individuals who went through advanced training to care for young kids through a program called PASO, or Providers Advancing Student Outcomes.
Y vamos a leer la etiqueta.
PASO gives informal care providers the skills and knowledge they need to keep kids healthy, safe, and prepared for kindergarten.
¿Para cuántas porciones es la etiqueta que te tocó?
If we could get to a place where the supports and the subsidies and the professional development for FFN providers to be able to thrive
¿Sale? Tenemos frutas, tenemos proteína.
Is as plentiful as it is for licensed care, I think we'll see an even stronger and even more vibrant childcare sector in general.
State Representative Lorena Garcia oversees the PASO program as CEO of the Colorado Statewide Parent Coalition. She argues more needs to be done to support FFN providers.
FFN providers make up the majority of the childcare providers in the state and care for more than half of the children in this state. But our early childhood investment in the state invests less than 1% in FFN care. And if that FFN provider isn't equipped and prepared, that child could not be ready for kindergarten and they could start already behind. And what does that do for our education system? We have to spend more in remedial classes. We have to spend more helping a student catch up. And that's expensive, and we're already underfunded in our K-12 system.
¿Cuántas veces creen que podamos comer ese tipo de papas así, fritas?
But greater funding for family, friend, and neighbor care alone will not solve the state's childcare crisis. Parents who have left the workforce altogether, especially in low-income communities, continue to struggle.
Many families are, due to the high cost of childcare, being forced to stay home. And recognizing that, we saw an opportunity to really jump in and create a space that is for young children and their families.
Candy Sidabaca and Liliana Flores grew up together in Denver's Elyria Swansea neighborhood, a tight-knit, primarily Hispanic community in northern Denver. With so many parents leaving the workforce, they saw an immediate need for free early learning programming.
Our neighborhood is a child care desert, and it has been for quite a while, primarily because of the nature of being a low-income neighborhood. People who are not already on CCAP are essentially locked out of childcare and high-quality early childhood education.
Crissair relies on philanthropic funding to finance their community space and partners with existing community programs that are free for participants.
Me llamo Candy, este es Canaloa, y yo comería. Recognizing that some parents are staying home with their children and don't necessarily feel like they have the expertise. We're bringing in experts, people who can teach parents how to continue the development in their child in a very high quality fashion.
So we weren't trying to be just your typical for-profit early childhood center. We were really trying to do something different and have it be for community, by community.
Dile bye. Dile bye, Canaloa. Ahí vengo.
Across the state, other parents are turning to the ballot box to address their community's childcare challenges.
So today I'm going to knock on some doors to get direct contact with people, to let them know about 7A and ask them if they have any questions about it and see if they'll vote yes or play this at the table.
Molly Hamilton saw the childcare situation in her community and wanted to do something about it. So this past fall, she went knocking on doors, hoping to pass a local ballot measure.
My name is Molly. I'm a volunteer with Strong Start Bright Future. I'm just walking around letting neighbors know about ballot measure 7A. It would create a new tax district from Aspen to Parachute to help people with childcare, to make it more affordable and available. There'd be a modest 0.25% sales tax on non-essential items. I'm out here because I know every single parent who I've met in the last 6-7 years since living here has struggled to find or afford childcare, myself included. And I know just people need it to work and to be a part of the community and to live here, and just for the future of the Valley.
The measure passed in November of 2025 by a 60-40 vote. A similar measure in Larimer County also passed, but by smaller margins. As local counties in Colorado try to step in to solve the problem, across the country, some cities and states are starting to commit serious dollars, including San Francisco and New York City. New Mexico has gone further, becoming the first state in the nation to offer free childcare starting at infancy for all families, paid for largely by taxes on the oil and gas industry.
Oh my gosh, New Mexico is the dream. Basically makes early childhood a constitutional right, and it has funded this constitutional right. And so now there is actual access to early childhood in New Mexico, and it is this beautiful thing, and we just need to do that here.
Hi there. You all registered to vote in Colorado? Are you interested in increasing funding for childcare?
Community organizations are currently gathering signatures to create a new statewide ballot initiative called Protect Colorado's Future. It would institute a graduated income tax and generate more revenue for education, healthcare, and early childcare.
Our goal here is to be able to collect enough signatures to actually get a ballot measure on our November ballots in Colorado. Anyone interested in increasing funding for childcare?
It's too early to tell whether this initiative will make it on the state ballot and pass, but the issue remains on many people's minds. A recent poll from the Colorado Polling Institute showed 9 in 10 Coloradans concerned about rising costs.
Yeah, there you go, you got it.
It's very hard for anybody to have kids nowadays. I wish the people who actually are responsible, took some steps, provide more funding, and just help young families with young kids.
Child care, it's essential for me. I couldn't be here or work here if I didn't have child care.
I feel like it should be free to all parents that actually work
and that actually need it and rely on it.
Oh, if I could change one thing about the childcare system, I guess it would be equal access for everyone, no matter what your financial background.
If I could change anything, it's the cost of it. It's just way out of reach for anybody like us who's, just paycheck to paycheck.
Children are not future leaders. They're not future participants. They are now. They are participating, and we should recognize them and see them and give them the opportunity to dream and imagine and create the world that we know is going to be better.
I don't have kids, but I know that if we don't have childcare that's going to prepare these kids, if we're not preparing our next generation of leaders, what kind of a society are we building in the future?
La fruta. ¿Qué se les ocurre que puede poner en una comida? Lentejas con zanahoria.